No. I mean, it's nothing personal. Wait, does the squirrel come too? Way too forward, dude. Have you ever heard of subtlety? What? God damn! Angela, the Hand of Heaven, is NetEase's 11th Vanguard, and if you listen to everything you hear on the internet, the weakest character to ever be conceived. The only thing bigger than Angela herself is the skill issue that everyone is suffering from. Angela is an extremely complex hero, so we're going to go out of order just a little bit in describing her abilities and capabilities. First off, Angela's passive is Seraphic Soar. This passive does two things, and both of them are deeply important for operating the character successfully. Firstly, Angela can fly. Big surprise, I know. While flying, Angela has omnidirectional movement, moving at her fastest while advancing forward. While moving forward in this manner, she charges the second half of her passive, Attack Charge. For now, all you need to know is that Attack Charge benefits her attacks and is the key to meaningful and impactful ability usage. Angela has two primary fires. While flying, Angela thrusts with her Spear of Icarus. This attack does negligible damage, but deals an additional burst of damage and knocks enemies up while at full charge. See, Angela's spear always consumes the entirety of your attack charge when hitting a foe. When this attack consumes a full attack charge, you receive your bonus effect. Up next is her other primary fire, Axes of Icarus. This melee attack swings in a 4-hit combo, with a fourth attack granting you a cushy dash. This attack deals increased damage proportional to your attack charge. An ability that can be used to identical effectiveness regardless of which weapon you're currently using is her Shielded Stance, a 350 HP shield that goes on a measly 2-second cooldown when you put it back down. This shield increases your attack charge when blocking damage with it, making whatever weapon you're using at the time more effective. So that was a pretty sizable quantity of confusing information. Let me break it down for you, Mark. Angela's most complicated ability is Divine Judgment. Now, you start the game in flight. There is no weapon swap like Punisher or Mercy. Instead of being able to hit 2 to swap to your axes, it's tied into an entire ability. Divine Judgment reads as such. Dive downward, switch to twin axes, and infuse the ground with Icarus to create a Divine Judgment zone upon impact. Within the zone, gain enhanced speed, and attacks grant bonus help to self and nearby allies. So, you hit this weapon and ground yourself, creating an arena that enhances your strengths. When you hit this button, you, 1. Gain access to greater damage output due to your axes. 2. Have enhanced gap closing abilities due to your increased speed and attack combo dash. 3. Have greater staying power for yourself and your allies through generating 30 bonus health for yourself on hit and 15 bonus health for your allies. Generally speaking, you want to hit this button while your attack charge is as full as possible, because you are now a 550 HP character on the receiving end of a ghastly amount of focus fire. Now, I'm sure you have an entirely understandable list of concerns right now. If my character's passive is all about flying, what do I do when I hit the ground outside of die? Well, you leave. Upon casting Divine Judgment, you immediately gain access to Wing Blade Ascent. No cooldown. Divine Judgment's ability only goes on cooldown upon casting Wingblade Ascent, so this ability is actually 2-in-1. Wingblade Ascent simply sees you returning to the skies, swapping your axes out for your trusty spear. It's more threadbare than Angela in your dreams. Just one more ability and then I'll make it make sense. Hold on tight. Angela's final ability is Assassin's Charge. Upon pressing this button, Angela begins an accelerated dash state. A resource bar determines how long you're actually able to stay in this state. Though simply flying around with your spear isn't the least assassinly thing you could do, don't worry, it gets better. While dashing, if you manage to pin an enemy with the extremely sensitive hitbox at the very tip of the dash, you will carry them with you. Angela whisks up to 2 foes off of their feet, also like what happened in your dream, and carries them until the resource bar says she can't anymore. 2 things to note here. Picking someone up consumes a hefty chunk of your resource bar, ultimately shortening how much distance you can cover while casting it. So, now your brain is stuffed to bursting with Angela knowledge. Pretty similar to what happened in your dream. Alright, So, Angela is effectively a stance fighter within a hero shooter game. You have 2 primary modes that you operate in as Angela. Firstly, flight. Constantly moving about, creating pressure, and consistently generating your attack charge. While you're flying, your strengths are 1. Your empowered spear disrupts flying and mobility abilities. If you encounter someone in the air, you can seriously disrupt them with little effort or commitment. 2. Assassin's Charge allows you to not only be mobile, slipping in and out of bad situations, but also CCing people with annoying frequency. Oftentimes, my neutral state when I'm playing Angela is searching for enemies to force out of position with this ability. And finally, Observation. It sounds corny, I know, but you can truly see everything from above. Angela's biggest weakness is numerical strength. You don't deal crazy damage, and you certainly don't have crazy survivability. Your character is all about being at the right place at the right time. And when you're grounded. While grounded, you walk amongst the mortals with your teeth bared and your axes out. Overstaying in this circumstance is the easiest way to die as Angela, so you really need to have a specific goal in mind. Such as, 1. You're at your most lethal with your axes out and your attack charge full. You will surprise people with how much damage you deal in this state. 2. You have marginally improved survivability in this state, assuming you're staying within Divine Judgment, but we'll talk about improving this flexibility later. But you also help your allies with staying power. 3. Pressure. Flying, observing, and thinking aside, you are playing a Vanguard. It is your job to be the enemy's #1 focus and #1 problem. In this state, you are forcing transactions of resources the most, meaning that you're hurting the enemy and they're hurting you. So, despite your numerical weakness, when you click on Angela, you're walking into the battlefield with a Swiss knife, not a broadsword. You don't have the strength to handle every situation with a singular, overwhelmingly powerful solution. However, you have a great number of solutions that, with the aid of some finesse and tactics, can solve any problem. Now, how funny is that? That sounds exactly like my favorite character in... Ryu is, quite possibly, the simplest character in Street Fighter. Ryu is what we in the industry call a generalist. Generalists are spread out. Generalists have a diverse and varied power budget. But what does this mean? A character's power budget is how strong they are, basically. What resources do you have at your disposal to influence the game you're playing? What abilities do you have that allow you to influence the other people playing this game, preferably with the goal of winning in mind? Ryu has a great many options to influence the average match of Street Fighter. 1. Ryu has a respectable combo game, meaning you aren't exactly comfortable standing close to him. The dude has hands. 2. Ryu has a low commitment projectile, meaning that you aren't exactly comfortable standing far away from him either. 3. Ryu has varied frame data on his moves. Long story short, one kick is a great answer in one situation, and another kick is a great answer in a different situation. Ryu is the opposite of a specialist. Specialists, rather than having some form of solution for nearly every situation, have one solution for every situation. Oftentimes, when a character has some form of overpowering strength in a singular area in their kit, that character is a specialist. Right, I'm sure you get it by now. Obviously, Angela is the very definition of a Marvel Rivals generalist. Is there a way you can use just Assassin's Charge to win every fight you find yourself in? No. Can you occasionally win a fight by using this ability cleverly? Absolutely. Your ability to diagnose what approach to take in a given battle would determine your effectiveness on a generalist, and consequently, Angela. So, now you know everything Angela does, and you've heard my take on her game design philosophy. Great. But, you know this playlist, you've seen my other Why I Love videos, hopefully. This all begs the question, why do I love Angela? Angela's ult is Heaven's Retribution. After a brief cast, you hurl a spear wherever you're aiming. This spear does 35 damage to anyone it hits on the way, and 100 damage upon impact with the surface. When the spear does hit a surface, all enemies are pulled into an AoE, suffer an 80% slow, and get grounded. It's your classic Vanguard ult, forcing enemy displacement as a teamwork-oriented ability. But as is the norm with Angela, there's a bit more to this ability. See, upon hurling the spear, you can recast the ability. If you choose to press the button a second time, you dive down onto the spear in a most cinematic fashion. There's two important things though. 1. This landing acts just like your other landing ability, Divine Judgment. You leave behind the exact same zone. However, this does not consume the cooldown for Divine Judgment itself, so you can have 2 DJ fields active at once, even though the effect doesn't stack. I think it should. You're still fragile. If you leap headlong into a group of enemies and try to brawl until the teamfight is over, you will die prematurely. As a side note, the spear that holds your enemies down has 600 HP. It will likely be destroyed by the enemies before you receive the full duration of the effect. See, I love Angela because her versatility cooperates so seamlessly with her Vanguard identity. Multiple weapons, but both of them are good at protecting. One physically displaces the aggressors, and the other can literally shield your allies. Her charge does allow her to chase down opponents and have some degree of a kill threat, but it can be used to literally scoop flankers up and off of your healers, scraped like the scum they are. Not only did NetEase create an extremely specific player fantasy with an admirable amount of depth, they did it within the constraints of the hero shooter genre. It's no secret that the genre is expanding. Overwatch's perks, Deadlock's MOBA/shooter hybridization. Despite that, NetEase flawlessly creates engaging designs while remaining true to their design philosophy. Angela is a bit too much for me. I don't actually love the character, she's a bit high APM for me. However, I think her design speaks pleasant things about Marvel Rivals and the hero shooter genre at large. Thanks for watching, and let me personally sponsor your next bowl of cereal or ramen with some chatting about games ASMR with my latest video you should check out, Duelist Domination.